Welcome back. The program is still Good Morning Abuja, and yes, there's still a lot that we have lined up to bring your way, so as to at least bring some education to you on certain things that happen. And this morning, our guest in the studio will be taking us through the turbulent journey that exists between children and parents. This relationship is one that is ordained by God because the relationship between a father, mother, and the child is one that there's no feeling, there's no words to describe that feeling yet, especially when the children are within the teenage age. There tend to be some issues here and there. But our expert in the house is going to demystify some of the things that trigger this quarrel or squabble between parents and children this morning. So join me as I warmly welcome Ms. Victoria Yusuf to the studio this morning. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here again.
Okay. Ms. Victoria Yusuf is an educator. She's a relationship coach. She's a motivator. In fact, she's so many things packed into her. And trust me, stay with us, listen to all she has to tell you, and you'll be better for it as far as relationship that exists in your life is concerned. Let's begin. Why is it that between parents and children, fostering an open communication uh, is usually challenging?
Well, one of the things is that a lot of people don't start early. And because of that, there's always that gap. But for people that are informed on time and start the relationship early, communicating with their child, even from the womb, it becomes easy. Because scientifically, it's been proven that a mother's voice is recognized by the child, and the father's voice as well. Even the surrounding sounds are recognized by a child. So when the child is born, I know there's a usual excitement that the parents have and all that. But after that, they just feel that it's just another mouth to feed. So they're like, let the help take care of them, let the driver take care of them, or relations that stays with them, and they don't have that open communication. I know growing up, a lot of people will say when their father is talking, the children have to keep quiet. And that is one of the reasons that there's this gap. But once a family, a father and a mother recognizes the importance of having a cordial relationship with their child and they start early, it becomes easy. And even when they become teenagers or adults, it still flows easily. So that's why we need to start early with our children.
Starting early is the key here. Wow. Well, okay. Now, I know you're an expert in this field, and I'm trying to look at some strategies here that parents could use to maintain a strong bond with their children. Do you mind sharing some with us?
One of the things that parents can do is starting early and making sure that they have time for their children. It's important. I know that parents are busy, they have work and they have bills to pay, but it's also important to create time for these children because our children will either learn from the home or from the society. And the best place to start learning is from the home. That's why they say charity begins at home. So it's very key that we create time for these children. It's not good that we push them around to schools or boarding schools or lessons. Like during this holiday period now, parents are still eager. They're like, let them just go out. Let them just be there.
Summer school.
Summer school, exactly. Go and do something and just let the house be quiet as it used to be. And it's so wrong because we need to create time for our children. We need to bond with them. We need to talk with them. Communication is very important. Then we also need to make out time to play with them. It's not just giving orders, backing orders, stand up, don't touch that cup, don't do this. You need to actually talk with your children and listen to them also. Then another thing that parents can also do is making sure that they compromise in some areas. I know that back in the days, our parents could have been harsh with us, but we shouldn't be too harsh on our children also. We should be disciplined, you know, make everything balanced. Sometimes you might want to be harsh or shout at them or reprimand them, discipline them. But some other times also we should be be able to compromise in some standards or sometimes so that these children can also know that daddy and mommy is also their friend, not just a parent, but also a friend that they can actually talk with
Okay.
ease.
Okay. How about scenarios where, say, this child now becomes too comfortable with daddy and mommy being playful and giving them all of these grounds, and they begin to take it for granted? And now, at what point should discipline be enforced, or should the play not include parents having disciplinary measures in place?
Right from birth.
Mm,
Once you're breastfeeding your child, if he or she does something small, you can use your finger and just tap them. That's a form of discipline.
mm,
When they are going to school or they come back from school and they pick somebody's things, you instruct them and discipline them. You shouldn't take somebody's thing. So these values should start as early as possible so that they know that, oh, daddy can spank me, mommy can spank me. And sometimes, our parents will say when a visitor comes in, the way they just look at you
mm.
and they just pass information, either stand up or greet or leave the room or things like that.
The non-verbal kind.
Non-verbal communication is very important and we can still do it with our children.
Yes.
But the thing is, if we do it early, I remember somebody saying they were looking at their child in a way and the child was like, Daddy, what is wrong with your eyes? That's because they didn't start early. Imagine that in the presence of a visitor. So
I'm just trying to
it's
imagine my mother asking her, what I do with your iPhone.
you receive the beating of your life. So, it's good to actually start early so that our children learns these values from home. So that when they know that, oh, I've taken somebody's thing, I cannot bring it home. I've maybe broken the plate. Like some children will even tell you, daddy, I have bad news. Right from the gate or from the entrance. Oh, I did this, I'm very sorry. They learn to apologize properly. They learn how to greet properly. They know that when they wake up, they do certain chores before they head out. So these things needs to be in place on time and it's not too late. Even if you didn't start it early on time or you feel that, oh, your child is not taking your laxity for granted or your generosity for granted, you can actually start now and say, oh, bring that phone. You're not using it for the next 1 week
Hmm.
or for the next 2 hours, you're not watching cartoon. No matter the age of your child, you can still reach them. You can start. You can just talk with your wife or your husband and say, oh, please, what can we do? Or what should we start doing for our children? And with that, you people can agree and say, okay, during these holidays, they have to read their books for at least 3 hours or 2 hours. They watch cartoon only for 1 hour. They go to visit their friends for 2 hours or something like that. Or they do some creational things maybe on weekends when we are there to supervise them. So those type of things also is very important for our children.
Okay. All right, let's talk about support now. Some people tend to think that parents sometimes over support their children and they support them so much that they spoil them. Like some people will say, why are you 40 and you're still in your parents' house? While others will be like, there is nothing he asks for that the father or the mother does not provide him. Uh, this is it a failure on the parents' part to be too supportive, or is it or for, on the parents' side, is it that he's trying to buy his way out of his not being around probably or some mistakes that he has made? And I want us to look at I want you to respond to this vis-a-vis the fact that children from the little age, what they see parents do is what they will come to. Like they see this as the norm. So when they grow up, they want to exhibit that norm. It's not strange to them. It's strange to you that you think they can do this. But to them, they are wondering, why do you think it's strange? It's something I see like every day of my life. I'm used to this. For example, an abusive partner using curse words in the house and the child is around and he picks up on those things. So when he speaks to people maybe outside the environment or even within the environment, he speaks the same type of words or shows signs of being abusive. It's normal to him because he sees it every day. He doesn't understand it's a wrong thing to do. So let's look at being supportive and bringing up children who would mirror the parents that they see or the adults they see around them.
First of all, about the mirroring what our parents do, it's just the life.
Mm.
So we have to be extremely careful what we do or
Okay.
what we say around our children. because they learn their mind is totally blank at birth. So it's what we say and do that they copy. If we are the liars or the dirty people or people that abuse people, that is exactly what they will do. And that's what they'll copy also. So it's actually wrong. So we should try as much as possible, even when we are angry, there should be a way that you and your wife or your husband were able to fight your fight without your children knowing. You can fight all your fights within the room or when they are not around, but not in front of your children. Don't use certain words in front of them because it will tell at the long run. Because when they are older, they will also insult you in front of people and it will be so disgraceful. So, as much as possible, we need to speak properly and clean words in front of our children, teenagers, and all. Then, when it comes to supporting our children, it's actually good that maybe if you're an absentee father or an absentee mother, trying to buy back that time, it's good, but we shouldn't do it to the excessive or to the extreme end because it's actually going to backfire. A child or a youth at 30 something, 20 something should be pushed out. No matter how rich or how wealthy you are, that child will regret at the long run, and the father too. At 40, oh God, you should have started your life way beyond before then. So please, as much as you have the funds, you have the connection, you have the rooms or the houses or the hotels or the jobs to give your children, at certain age, they should be pushed and helped to start their own life, to start their own family. So don't say because you have the money or you have the resources, you have the friends, you have the food and all that, you will not let a 30 years old, 40 years old to still be at home or you buy cars for them. Yeah, you might feel you are doing something good. Ah, I'm a rich father or I'm a rich, wealthy mother. It's so wrong. Let them learn the values of life. Let them value work and let them start their own life also.
Amazing. Well, we've been talking about parents and children relationship, and Victoria Yusuf, the educator, relationship coach, uh, has been taking us through the possible ways that conflict could arise and what parents need to do, as well as what everybody should look out for. But before we go, I would like to hear you speak to Jay because it's like you've been talking more about the parents now. Just one last question now. What about the children? How should they contribute to making this relationship work?
I often tell children, because I have group for children and teenagers that I try and mentor,
Okay.
and I tell them that your parents are the best that you have. Your parents are the best that you have, and they are doing their best part time. It might not be the best in your own face or your own perspective, but that is what they can do best for you at that time. So you should appreciate them. If they are cautioning you or they are punishing you or they are disciplining you, it's because they love you. So you should be open enough to accept that correction early enough so that you can grow. And when you do that, you become a better person, you become a better youth. So your parents are cautioning you or correcting you now because they love you and they want you to become a standard or a strong person in the future. But parents that don't discipline you are people that don't love you. When they correct you, it's because they want the best out of you. So you have to be willing to communicate with your parents, accept the correction early, and make sure that you are friends with your parents as well. Your parents, you might think that they are old school, but guess what? They have been a child and a youth like you also. So you need to be open and learn from their own mistakes. If they are not where you expect them to be or where you would want to be in future, learn from their mistakes and then build on that to become a better person.
Amazing, amazing. Oh, well, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Victoria Yusuf. Victoria Yusuf is the CEO of Vicola Creations Projects. That is a leading fashion house here in Abuja. And she's also a trainer. She trains countless people yearly in tailoring, in fashion design, and other crafts. She also advocates for women. She teaches them to be self reliant, to be supporters of their home and their husband. You're doing so much. You're doing so
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
the humanity. Thank you for coming. You're also a proprietor of Vicola Academy Global. Yes, so much. Thank you for coming. Continue to do this amazing work you're
Thank
doing.
you very much.
Continue to help us to get the next generations that will come after us in their proper steed, so that when they grow, we'll have better leaders. Amen. All right. We'll quickly go on a short break now. When we come back, trust me, there's still more on the program. Stay with us.